The book community is no stranger to book box scandals, authors not delivering on their product promises, and much more. But this time, with this book box scandal, a Facebook group erupted into threats of violence. Let's talk about it. My name is Taylor Rose, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything reading and writing. So for some background on what's going on, we have this post by Your Fave Chemist from late last year at the beginning of December. So they originally posted this December 6th, 2025, where they said, earlier this year, I pre-ordered E. Bowser's Doctor Orders book box. She explained to us that she had hundreds of orders and she would be filling the orders by herself. She asked for grace and she gave us weekly updates. Not once did she leave us in the dark. When my box arrived, I was not disappointed. I recently made a purchase from her. I made a mistake and ordered the wrong book. When I reached out, I explained what I did and even told her she didn't have to refund me the difference. She not only responded quickly, she refunded me when I asked her not to. E. Bowser is far from a crook and she's transparent. What more do y'all want from these authors? So Your Fave Chemist here is defending this author, E. Bowser, who has recently come under some scrutiny because she did start a book box. I don't think it's like a subscription-based book box, but it's for one of her releases. And with that book box, a lot of people are saying they've never received anything. That is contrasted to Chapters with Chance, who posted this very recently, so January 2026, where they said, for clarity, I'm talking about one person book box, and that's E. Bowser. This is my personal experience, and I've ordered other book boxes way after hers and received them. It's going on almost 8 months, and I haven't received nothing. Then to see a post saying she's taking a pause due to personal reasons and not to DM or email her, cool, but prior to that, it was the holidays. I ordered my box in May and have been silent since, just playing the background, only emailed twice, but baby, it's January 2026. And anyone who is accepting of this, cool for you, but I'm not. And I ain't even offering refunds. Please miss me with the BS. One thing about me, I have no problem saying who I'm talking about because can't nobody do shit to me because I said what I said. I mean, valid, you should be getting the product that you paid for. I don't understand why people are so willing to just overlook things like this, like, oh, give them more grace. No, you promised a product by a specific date and, per Chapters with Chance's testimony here, there's been no communication, just intermittent Facebook posts saying, don't message me, I'm on a hiatus. The next day, Chapters with Chance was back saying, yeah, you overzealous fans really need to go have several seats because, baby, I don't do the social media stuff. See me in real life, and if you want to talk, cool, but don't overstep your place. You're not E. Bowser, and if she has an issue with anything I have to say, then she can talk to me directly. So apparently fans of the author were going after poor Chapters with Chance here for, expressing her completely legitimate, honestly, upset with not receiving what she ordered in a timely manner. In the comments, we have Pages Rated by X say, girl, I just saw that post on Facebook and immediately left the group. Right. So this is like the first inkling on Threads that something went down over on Facebook. Chapters with Chance responded, I'm not even in the group, but how you go from posting on my post on Threads, then going to the Facebook group, like that's weird behavior. And Pages Rated by X responded, yeah, she literally posted the same thing in the group. That wasn't the first time one of her admins makes some passive aggressive posts and it just never sat right with me. I don't like how they're trying to make you seem like the problem. Yeah, no, what do you mean? You can't just ghost customers and then when they rightfully complain, act like they're crazy. Dren posted the day after that, I'm curious as to why E. Bowser's book boxes haven't been sent out yet since people ordered checks others posts in May and June 2025. That's a very long time no matter what else you got going on or how little help you have. It looks bad for your brand. Now someone else in your defense is acting up? Yikes. I understand she's now grieving the loss of a loved one, but she honestly needs to clean her house by end of Q1, before then really, and take the rest of the year to reset/reflect. So this is another reference to what's going on over on Facebook. And I do just want to say here this note about grieving the loss of a loved one. It has been mentioned several times by E. Bowser herself by this point that a family member has passed away, which obviously is incredibly tragic. And I can understand totally why she would be overwhelmed with everything else going on. That being said, from E. Bowser's posts, it seems like that death happened very recently. So there is the gap from May and June to whenever the book box was supposed to be sent out to now. That's still June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Right, there's at least 6 months between ordering the book, at some point the book was supposed to be sent out, to this tragedy occurring. If the promise had been to send the books out during the holiday season, during December 2025, and then that tragedy occurred in December 2025, I agree there should be some leeway in what's happening, but from people's posts, they have been expecting this book since much earlier last year. Shawnee Reed's take on the situation said, "And while I have the spirit of mean upon me," I've never heard that before. When y'all was on here discussing cults, that Facebook group should have been added to the list. I used to love E. Bowser, but had to leave that group, unfortunately. Full of mean girls and that gun lady. And E. Bowser's cousin was always cussing someone out and being aggressive as hell. Book Bestie said, "Man, I left that group so fast a long time ago and never looked back. I think I left Jaquel's too. I'm in Dias Carter's and Siobhan Latrice's because they know how to act over there." Cooper Toy said this, "Plus they like to post those freaky ass AI videos and I don't like that shit at all." Right, so it seems like there's a mix of reasons why people don't like this Facebook group. I was unable to find a screenshot of the actual post, but the post was per the conversation about Chapters with Chance complaining that they have not yet received that book they ordered last May. It's unclear if it named them specifically, but per the conversation, people seem to be pretty clear that it was about Chapters with Chance now that the conversation is on Threads. On that post, one of the group admins, Blossom Rains, commented, "Call them out. They want attention so bad. While our good sis grieving, they want to start this BS. Trying to attack her character while she's mourning. Disgusting behavior. When someone close to them dies, I hope someone punches them in the face or calls them a scammer. Never in my life have I seen so many effed up people. The internet is a cesspool of idiots." Again, if the books were meant to be released in December or even January right now, and that's when the tragedy occurred, I feel like people would be more forgiving. With people saying, "I ordered this last May and still haven't received anything," the implication's pretty clear that this product, this book box, was meant to have been delivered months ago. It is just an unfortunate coincidence that people are complaining now, especially since the holidays have passed. It's possible many of these people ordered this book box as a potential holiday gift for somebody, or even themselves. And now that the holidays are past, they're like, hey. So we have this first post here, but the name was cut off. But you can see that she's talking to Alexis Body. So Alexis said, "You should be focused on writing a book rather than bashing people. Worry about yourself. And I can guarantee you that no one, and I mean no one, will put their hands on me. Because like I said, you or nobody can beat my ass, Goofy." And Blossom responded, "I am licensed to carry in 50 states, baby girl. Now that that's out of the way, I've never written a boom before. What's that, Goofy?" And so I'm assuming she went back and edited a typo. But what is this? I'm licensed to carry in 50 states? And now we're threatening to shoot people? Alexis responded, "I'm supposed to be scared? Now you're threatening to shoot me? Who's being ignorant now? Who's the big bad wolf now?" Like I said, focus on writing a book. I said what I said. And Knowledgeable Olive chimed in, "I'm trying to figure out why you two are beefing with each other. Aren't you both speaking up for E. Bowser? I'm confused." And Blossom responded, "I haven't threatened you at all, just naming some of my credentials. Also, I see you like to edit comments like your friend over on Threads. Cute. Because you called her out on a typo? It's one thing to like change the meaning of your message significantly. It's another thing to just fix small error, especially when someone's using that error to like speak ill of you. I've never written a boom before. Things were going back and forth, pretty intense on the Facebook group, which is when a bunch of people left because they don't want to see this sort of stuff, or they were kicked out. Mocahontas reads, back over on Threads, says, the fact that this shit started over a shared experience between readers, because let's keep in mind, Chapters with Chance has not been the only person to express distaste with the movements of E. Bowser. Now people are being threatened with weapons for coming to the defense of another reader. Weird as fuck, but I do know if you threaten with that gunplay, baby, you better be ready for that backlash. This internet shit ain't real, and you don't know these people on the other side of that screen. And then we have Chapters with Chance chiming in with a meme. So over on Threads, Alexis from the Facebook group is here on Threads as Lex Talks Books. And she had reposted a post that is now gone. From context clues, I'm assuming this post was by Blossom Rains, moving from Facebook to Threads. But Lex said, are readers messy, or are some readers tired of constantly giving grace? Let me first say, I do understand where you're coming from and what you're saying. However, waiting 6+ months for a book with poor communication is not acceptable. Also, if it's not stated on the author's website that a pre-order will take 6+ months, I think the reader has every right to feel upset. And then throw in, they don't offer refunds. That's not fair. And for more context, I'm talking about E. Bowser, right? So from her post, there was no indication that these books would take so long to come out. It was not a pre-order type situation with a clear ETA announced, right? And Chapters with Chance, the latter, baby, the latter, because I'm tired of giving grace and what communication. I got 2 email responses from which neither gave me a time frame of when I can expect my box, and now all I'm getting is emails and notifications for the newest boxes. Where is the communication? Right? Valid. I mean, again, I think Chapters with Chance has had a solid point this entire time. Alexa made several other posts about this situation. First, she talked about how she was banned from the Facebook group. She then later added, seek help and learn some fucking professionalism. All you're doing is making the business look worse. It was never that serious. You told me that you hope someone punched me while someone I love dies in my arms. I responded to said comment and said that no one will put their hands on me and that no one can beat my ass, including you. Then you proceed to say that you're licensed to carry in all 50 states. Oh, is you cool? Yeah, that is really intense. And this person isn't even the author, but we'll get into that. Lex said in another thread, made a whole post about my threads, add everyone in the group to the post. I stay responding, and then you ban me from the group. I guess unless you're in that Facebook group, no one has been sharing the follow-on posts other than they had moved on to harass poor Lex. So this is E. Bowser's thread profile. She writes paranormal, romance, fantasy, and urban fiction. After the situation erupted, she did make a Facebook post addressing it, where she said the following. I need to address something immediately. I do not condone violence, threats, intimidation, or harassment of any kind. Not online, not in my name, not toward me, not toward readers, not toward anyone in this community. My Facebook group is currently paused while I take time to lay my loved one to rest. This is not drama, this is real life. I am grieving, I'm handling arrangements, I'm not in a space to manage conflict or chaos. If anyone felt bullied, threatened, or unsafe in this group, that is not what I built here. That is not what my stories stand for, and that is not what this community is supposed to be. I love the readers who truly support my work. I am grateful for you, but let me be very clear. I will never excuse or tolerate threats of violence or harm in my spaces, no matter who it comes from or what emotions are involved. My group will remain paused until I have the emotional and mental space to reopen it properly. There will still be updates provided through my newsletters if you have signed up to my website and Patreon. Thank you to those who continue to show empathy, patience, and respect during this time. Based on context clues, I'm going to assume that this post that was now unavailable was from Blossom Rains posting about the situation, because Kenya's Book Nook responded, no, fuck all that, you went too far. Over the next bitch not being able to handle her business. You up in her so bad. Go help her pack a fucking box. And E. Bowser herself responded, 1, I am not a bitch. And 2, there are many posts, emails, long list of conversations, not to mention at time of purchase, you check a box saying, you understand this is a pre-order and shipping of these boxes will not begin until the end of July 2025. That's still like 6 months ago. What do you mean? We're in January 2026 now. I handle my business very well and document everything so there's no confusion. I'm not a scammer, nor do I hold anything back from my readers and customers. All the facts are laid out there. Should be no confusion. Reading the Right Way responded, this is beyond a book box at this point. What are you doing about your admin threatening the life of someone in your name? Good point. Yeah. E. Bowser said, I've already handled it, which has already been stated. And Reading the Right Way said, how? She threatened her publicly. So publicly is how it should have been handled. Lex Talks at Books, was this addressed to you and any type of contact because she is here and in the flesh? And Lex responded, I have not been addressed at all, publicly or privately. And E. Bowser responded, first off, I'm in a funeral home. I addressed who needed to be addressed at the time. As for anything else that will come after my family is laid to rest. Be blessed. And, you know, I hate that she's having to deal with this, obviously, while in a funeral home. And so there's this post that's not available that I believe was from this person, Eva Elegant, where E. Bowser responded, I just watched and held someone I love die in my arms. Take this down, please. I cannot do this. And Eva responded, sorry for your loss. I truly am, but I will not because your moderator is out of pocket. And E. Bowser answered, there's no way that could be true if there is a but in this. I took care of what is needed and this is causing unnecessary harm. This is your post, so it's your decision, but remove me as a tag in this. Like, I get that you're in mourning, but if people are using you to attack others, this just kind of comes off as trying to hide that. This is causing unnecessary harm. Just ignore it. Like, you put out your statement on Facebook, put out your statement on Threads, apologize to Lex, and then that's it, right? I mean, I guess it's causing her more unnecessary harm to her mental state, but there are plenty of posts out there talking about this situation that don't have her tagged. So it's like, what harm are we talking about here? To you or to your business? Because I think all of them are harming your business. Jack to be reading made this post talking about Blossom Rains, who has since deleted her thread, so that's why all of those posts are unavailable, where she points out who Blossom Rains is. So you can see on Amazon, they have 3 books on Kindle Unlimited. Hood Crucifixion, God's Plan. But then we have E. Bowser's website, which links to their Patreon. And then it has all of their books listed. So you can tell, at least from the covers, these all give off fantasy vibes. Witches and Wolves, Deadly Secrets. There's some vampire fangs. Yeah, Rise of the Phoenix, the vampire and his alpha mate. Right. Okay, so definitely like romantasy type vibes here. Fantasy romance, I guess. The Phoenix Who Saved Christmas. I always crack up at these like holiday themed books. Yeah, so these are definitely all very fantasy based. As we get towards the end, it seems like she does have a series that is not fantasy. Yeah, looking at the description on Amazon, these ones are not fantasy. Based off the covers, my gut says millionaire romance, but that could be incorrect. Okay. And then there's, I'm guessing this is fan art. Oh, okay, yeah. If you hover over them, they're a name. So this is supposed to be like fan art of the characters. That's pretty cool. And then I guess all her previous ads, reviews. Oh, that's smart. Reading order for all the books. I mean, you don't really need them for those other 2 series because they're labeled book 1, book 2, book 3, but this one with all the different titles, that's a smart idea. Interesting. Okay. Because a lot of people were saying that Blossom Rains was on this website as like a friend type collaborator author person. But currently, that is not available. These tabs at the top, author E. Bowser, audiobooks, all series reading order, gift card, Deadly Secrets and Dreamwalker books, Product of the Street series, author's editions, and then more, which is book synopses, character interviews, reviews, upcoming new releases, bio, and contact. None of these links go anywhere new. They just go back to that main page, except for the book trailers and then the synopses. Okay, so there is There is no link anymore, but there was a page specifically for Blossom Rains, and you can still get to it if you Google eBowser Blossom Rains, because it's ebowserbooks.com/Blossom Rains, where it talks about Blossom's books. So those Hood Crucifixion, and I guess this new book. But the warning next to this book says eBowser does not accept returns, which is interesting when these aren't eBowser's books. I'm just going to attribute that to poor web design, but it is a little suspicious. And when you go to Amazon to one of Blossom's books, the publisher is Ebony Bowser. Interesting. So, because Blossom A is an anonymous profile, so is eBowser. I wasn't able to find any images of the two, any mention of them participating in like a podcast or something. Was just their voices. I did find this from 2024, which claims to be an interview with Blossom Rains, but I think Blossom is just the voice, not either of these women. And then added to that, Blossom only being on Bowser's website, Blossom's books being published under Bowser's publisher name, when I don't really know why they would do that. Because if it is really the case of just a friend helping a friend self-publish on Amazon, they could very easily just put Blossom's name, you know? Unless eBowser is doing everything behind the scenes for Blossom other than the writing, in which case, I don't know if that's a very good idea, assuming they're both real women who are friends. You could be best friends now. You might have been best friends for years, but you never know what's going to happen next year. And putting, you know, what might be a sizable part of your income in the hands of another person who has no legal ties to you is risky. But because of all of that put together, a lot of people are thinking Blossom Rains is just eBowser on a Mule account, which I was briefly considering, because sometimes authors do use pen names when writing in different genres, but it does seem like eBowser has published under eBowser both her fantasy type romance novels and then her contemporary urban fiction. So no fantasy romance. And then Blossom Rains is also publishing non-fantasy urban contemporary romance. So interesting choice there. It looks like the latest book by Blossom Rains was published in January of last year. So it's not even a case of they tried publishing under Blossom Rains and then gave up. I might assume that, I mean, my gut doesn't say this, but perhaps the addition of the God's Plan part is separating those genres, because there could be more of a religious element to that Hood Crucifixion God's Plan series compared to her Bowser's Back to the Streets series that isn't fantasy. You would have to read them to determine that. I don't know. Overall, I think this situation's really unfortunate, especially if they aren't the same person. Like some people are theorizing if they are actually friends, and then Blossom overreacted like that in the Facebook group and started threatening people. Like, I know I would be mortified if one of my friends started threatening people with guns in a Facebook group over me. You know, that's absolutely mortifying. But if they are the same person as some people are theorizing, then definitely that makes this whole thing even worse. I don't know. Because, you know, if they are the same person, you know, they're lying about who they are, which, you know, that's gross. There's nothing wrong with using different pen names if you're honest about it. Or they're completely unconnected, right? If my two pen names are John Doe and Dave Smith, like, if they're not interacting online at all, then it doesn't really matter that it's not disclosed, at least in my opinion. But if John Doe here is over here on Dave Smith's Facebook group are trying to fight with people. Like, yeah, that is an issue. That also just brings into question, but again, like, if they're lying about this, are they lying about the tragedy in their family? Are they lying about the books going out? Like, what else are they lying about, really, is, I think, the big concern for consumers. Since Blossom Rains seems to have deleted themselves off of the internet, I don't know if we will ever find out anything more. Hopefully they're able to put out the book boxes that they sold last year in May with a timeline of July 2025 quickly at some point, even in the face of their personal tragedy. I can't imagine how difficult it would be to get through that, but unfortunately, what are their options? If they've spent the money, they have to get the books out. If they haven't spent the money, they could easily just refund all of these readers for the sake of their goodwill. Hopefully, I didn't miss an integral part of the story, obviously, with all of these posts now being deleted. I definitely caught this on the tail end of the drama. It does seem like E. Bowser has had a good track record. There are multiple people, again, that first post we touched on, there are multiple people defending her, saying they have good experiences. So it seems like potentially this is just a one-off, dropping the ball type thing going on. Well, that is all for now. I will see you next time.